Hey guys, welcome back. This is Shadow Drone. I'm starting to post again regarding my drone projects and stuff. So I've got actually two projects going pretty much side by side, and I'm going to go into both of them to kind of give you an idea of what I'm working on. So as you can see here, you see a pretty cool looking car seat that I ordered and some hardware, and that's the beginning of project one. And then this here is project two. Now, I know I've been doing quads and hexes, quadcopters and so on and so forth, but being out here since we moved out to the country and living on a ranch, I have a lot more space. And so flying a hex or a quad, it's still fun, but when you want to cruise for a while, you know, quads are just not the thing to do. So I've decided to try something new. Now this is a TVOL, T-O-V-O-L, vertical takeoff, drone, which I'm going to be building. This is basically, as you can see here, it's one of these. You've probably seen a million of them on Amazon and probably on YouTube, okay? But I bought the vertical takeoff kit, which is this thing here. So this thing can take off like a drone and then turn into an airplane and fly. So I've always wanted to try one of these. So this is project two. And this one here is actually gonna be a flight simulator. And I got into the VTOL software on Stream, where you can fly a lot of different jets and everything's VR. And also I managed to sync my Oculus 2 to my mini series DJI drones. So I spent a good couple of days trying to figure it out, and I managed to figure out a way to literally stream my first-person view from my remote on my DJI to my Oculus, and it works. The only drawback on it is you need to be near a network, a Wi-Fi network. So I'm not going to go into detail on that right now. That'll be another video, but what I'm doing here is I'm designing, I'm slowly putting together my own flight sim, and I ordered the chair, as you can see here, the seat, and I'm going to be building the skeletal underneath part, and well, that's what I'm doing now is I'm attaching the rails that I bought, and I'm going to, right now I'm just assembling this, and then I'm going to be working on the frame setup today. And it's going to use my VTOL, it's going to be using my Oculus as a flight sim. And then I bought these. Now I did download the 3D print file for these, but after doing all the homework, meaning having to print them and then find the 24mm steel balls and everything, you know, to make this is basically a very strong magnet, and it sits on these, and then these go in here, and then you have your joystick. So basically the way it works is you have this, so you can use it for a flight sim. So I also ordered the mounting brackets for the stick, and the left and the right side, there'll be pads there for these things. And I'm going to modify these with a, because it's hollow in there, see that? I'm going to slide some magnets inside here, and those will then attach to the side mounts. So I can do helicopter, have a side mount on left and right, and or I can do throttle, stick. So if you want to put the stick in your right hand off to your right and the throttle on your left, you can do that. If you want the stick in the middle, you can do that. And so it's going to be a pretty much universal flight cockpit setup. I was looking at maybe building my own movement system where you can go forward and backwards, left and right. I've been doing some research on that. But that's going to take a lot more studying because it's not as easy as you think it might be. I know they make it look easy on YouTube and stuff, but when you finally get into it, you know, you start to realize it's not as easy. And not only that, but if I was to do that, I would have to figure out a way to make it cost effective and broad user friendly, meaning that some VR games don't have the built-in programming and ability to work with a axis system. Okay, so that limits you to certain software. So when you, in other words, what I mean by that is if it's set up through the software that you're playing, when you move your stick to the left, you know, the system sends a signal to the motors and moves the chair to the left and so on and so forth. Well, some of these VR games are really cool, but they don't have that interface. So what I'm thinking of doing is maybe if there's a way to create the pedals, because a lot of the VR games don't have the pedals, okay, the physical pedals, which is fine. But if there's a way I can utilize the pedals to control the yaw and all that. So for example, left pedal forward would put the seat into a dive, and then, you know, right pedal forward would make it climb, and then somehow figure out a way to use the pedals to mimic this. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds a little silly, but, you know, once you figure it out, you can probably get away with that. You know, left pedal, yaw to the left, right pedal to the right, or both pedals to climb, one pedal to dive, or however you want to do that. So anyway, so these are the two projects I'm working on right now. I'll be keeping you guys informed on the process. If you guys have any questions or any input's always appreciated. All right, boys, girls, you guys have a good day. Shadow Drone out.